We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that can respect you.
Live from the Busch Lights video.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin things dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the done.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
What name of one Razorback?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man.
Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hey, good morning, 11:01. Glad to be with you. This is halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Olsen, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing, and an action-packed Wednesday today that will include Grant Hall in about 15 minutes. Hall of Famer Grant Hall in 15 minutes. This is a Hall of Fame Wednesday, along with Hall of Famer Clay Henry at 12 noon. Matt Zimmerman, I don't know if he's in he's probably in some Hall of Fame somewhere, but if he's not, let's just put him in one right now.
He's in my Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zim will join us at 1:15 after getting a new Zim got a promotion today, Matt, so we should have a celebratory song for him when we bring him on the show. We'll bring this up a little bit with him, but obviously it's a little bit more on basketball as far as that's concerned. Let me see if I can find the new title here for Matt Zimmerman, Director of A Club and former student athlete engagement. And when I think of Matt Zimmerman, I think of being able to engage just about anybody, current student athletes, future student athletes, former ones too. It's a good gig for a good man. We'll talk about that with him later on, and a lot of Arkansas basketball since Cal and Kelsey Music got up in front of the media yesterday, along with a few of the other coaches. And SEC Media Days will conclude today. Doesn't feel like basketball season yet, Matt. Still feels like football season, doesn't it? Though, hopefully a lot of folks aren't just ready to move on just yet. But I do think once it's basketball season, once it's actually time to play, I think the first real game, and I'll say a real game, will be the exhibition against Cincinnati next Friday. By that point, we'll know the outcome of the A&M game. Some folks may be ready to move on at that point or not. I just know basketball season should be a lot of fun. We're expecting a lot of wins, a lot of success, and even in the losses, probably some really, really entertaining games. Football season's been a little bit different. Hopefully things will turn around soon.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, man. Looking forward to it. We're going to have a fun show today.
That's right. First thing I'll get to here, Matt, would be I don't know how many weeks in a row there's been a firing for a coach in college football. But it was like 4 or 5 in a row. I mean, it was the third week of the season.
The biggest surprise to me is Jimmy Franklin. Seriously, like I couldn't believe. But yeah, it seems like each week somebody's just kind of going down the row.
So I think at least 3 weeks ago it was Virginia Tech and UCLA. Who was after that?
Stanford? No, not Stanford.
Stanford's been open since they got rid of Troy Taylor in the spring. It's just a matter of waiting for the season to be over, and Frank Reich won't be the interim any longer. I think Oklahoma State was the week after that. Wasn't that after the loss to Tulsa? And then there was Arkansas. And then there's the 3 that came this last weekend. So I think that's 4 weeks in a row. There are reports coming out of Gainesville today that Billy Napier will be next. Sources for Matt Hayes at USA Today reporting that influential boosters met with the Florida athletic director yesterday. And, well, just put it in these terms. If Florida were to lose to Mississippi State in Gainesville on Saturday, it's going to be it for Napier. They're going into another off week next week, and this is when the firings always occur now, right? They happen in an off week. So Napier's going to be next, man. Hey, he might be gone even after a win, truthfully.
Didn't they just beat Texas, though?
They did.
He just no credit for beating Texas at home, huh?
I guess not.
Yeah.
The boosters are basically saying it's him or us. It's either you keep him or we're not giving you money.
Yeah.
That's essentially the way that That's kind of the way that I'm reading it here in this Matt Hayes story at USA Today. You know, it wouldn't be the first time that boosters make the decision for the athletic director, but put it in certain terms so that there's not too much of a decision to be made. And I guess the feeling would be whenever the next loss is, right? Florida already had that ridiculous schedule. You know, they get after their off week, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State after that. So, you know, it's just keep the streak going, right? And it wouldn't be a surprise if Napier's gone. The surprise is that they kept him last year after such an awful start, finished strongly. This article talks about how the boosters wanted him gone last year. Strickland was able to convince them to keep donating so he can build the roster out. He built the roster out into, what were they, 11th, 10th, 12th in the country preseason?
I like their defense. They got some studs up front. That front seven, they got some speed, but did their quarterback get hurt? It's yeah. I don't know, man. It's always a weird world when Florida is not good at football, and they really haven't been good at football in a better part of a decade now.
Well, and they win you're coming off a national championship in basketball. Baseball's in a good place there, too. But that's one of those schools. It's the same. It's like, isn't it kind of crazy now? You're looking at the state of Florida football and Miami, the program that's lagged behind the other two, more or less, in these last 25 years since that historic Miami team.
01, yeah.
They're the ones that have lagged back. But where's Miami now? Number 2 in the country, potentially with the best performing quarterback in the country, and they're going to become a destination school for experienced quarterbacks, Matt. Just look at what happened with Cam Ward. Look at what's going on with Carson Beck. Who knows who needs another, a different venue next year to close out their career. Somebody that's getting hate from their fan base. Maybe Arch Manning ends up going to Miami next season. Just throwing that out there. I don't think that'll happen. But that's kind of what I'm looking at Miami now as a bit of a brand. This is a place that you can go, finish your college career, look good doing it.
Coral Gables and no state income tax? Come on. I mean, what? Come on. And being 19 to 24 years old.
Meanwhile, Florida can't quite find, the right coach. And they've tried, how many different times since Urban Meyer?
When's Tim Tebow going to be their head football coach? I figured that was what they were going to do.
My guess is he would be kind of like an ambassador in the athletic department, if he already isn't.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe a director of some sort. Who knows?
Kind of like what Andrew Luck does, or
as a general manager,
something like that.
Luck is running that program.
Don't you but what you want Tebow around in the meetings just to hear what he has. Same thing with Andrew Luck. You just kind of want him there to kind of his personal experience. I mean, he's been through it all.
I just find it so amazing that he was able to convince Frank Reich, whom he left as the quarterback of that team, to come be his interim coach for 1 year. And, I'm assuming they're already, been out there looking for who's next. Just like, has Arkansas's been looking for who's next too. Eli Drinkwitz yesterday at his media availability, Matt, what did I say, angrily? I don't have the soundbite of this, but he took the reports of his offensive coordinator, Klein, being interviewed by Arkansas. And
no, Klein is A&M. I don't know. I can't think of who the Missouri.
Moore.
There we go.
I'm forgetting. Yeah. Anyway, but
Kirby.
he says that it's a lie.
Oh.
Throws it out there. Says this is an outright lie. Did not interview for the job, and so there you go. It's not even Battle Line rivalry week, and you got some Arkansas, Mizzou back and forth going on here. So I mean, that's what I mean. Is what you don't really quite know what to believe. Would a current offensive coordinator really be interviewing for that job in September? But Eli goes out and says it's a bold-faced lie.
Propaganda, fake news, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's what makes it the soap opera that the coaching carousel is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the reports that somebody's interested in this job or that job. You've got yesterday, Alex Golesh gave a 4.5-minute answer about, being you say somebody's a candidate for the job without really knowing if they're a candidate for the job. You just know he seems like he'd be a good candidate. 4.5-minute answer to a question about that, which seems like it's a lot of talking that doesn't have to do with your team at that moment. Dan Mullen essentially did the same thing yesterday, telling the UNLV media, you're stuck with me here next year. I love this kind of stuff. You know, I can appreciate Rhett Lashley being honest about this. Just saying, look, this is an honest question. It's okay to ask that. It makes perfect sense. But he's going to keep getting asked about that too. And you know, sooner or later somebody says, "Look, I'm going to be the coach here next year," just to end the conversation until the next time you hear the question, because these questions keep coming out.
What's the SMU? You know, I know they were top 25. Does it matter, do you think, to the Arkansas, the average, or I mean, to all of them, to the fans, to the boosters? Does it matter what SMU does this year? They're 4-2. They're traveling to Clemson. They lost a 3-pointer to Baylor. You know, lost to TCU. They beat a bad Syracuse team and a bad Stanford. So Clemson, Wake Forest. They get Miami. So there's another L. Louisville will be tough. So they might only have 4 losses by the end of the year, but they're not making the college football playoff. Does that matter? Because last year they made the college football playoff. Do you look at him, if he has 4 losses this year at SMU, do you think it's still good enough?
Yeah, I would think so. Yes. I thought, what do you want to see? It's not necessarily you're just, you know, going to be a playoff team every year. I think you want to see that there looks like there's something that is sustainable. And if you get to 9 wins, 8 wins this year, because, you know, I think staying at 11 wins for a while is really difficult, moving from one league to another. Just to see that there's something that's stable, that there isn't these big fluctuations, which, I mean, you kind of, the last couple of years, you didn't have fluctuations as far as Arkansas was concerned, but you did see a big dip after the 9-win season and a little bit of an up after that. And then it stabilized to a place where it didn't look like it was about to get better. And I think that's what they're seeing at Florida too. Plus, the idea in a place like that, it's the same at Penn State. You're there to compete for conference championships and national championships. You know that when you go there. And that's exactly what's going to be said by those athletic directors when they're talking to the media about why they got rid of the coach. That's exactly what Kraft was talking about what he sees in the future as the next head coach, as somebody that's coming in to compete specifically for national championships. Florida's the same thing. And at Arkansas, there's been different messaging in which, you know, if they're at Florida trying to get all of their money in order properly to put a good team together and then pay whatever the buyout's going to be for Napier and the next coach, the feeling is that you're expected to come in and compete immediately for an SEC championship, for a national championship. Maybe there's a year or so that you can like get everything in order, and then that second year, I think you're expected to be a big-time winner. It hasn't happened with Napier at all. I mean, at Florida, Matt, I think they're expecting a lot of wins 2 years in, and even that first year, they're expecting something that feels stable. But you just know there's other jobs that are coming open. I mean, these next 7 weeks, I mean, it's 4 weeks in a row there's been a firing. Sooner or later, there's going to be an end to the streak. But with every firing, it just feels like it makes the right way to put it, to make the hiring at Arkansas more difficult. It's just that there's more competition for whomever Hunter and the search committee settles on, unless it's Bobby Petrino, because it's the only job that he's up for.
Yeah, I kind of think it is going to be Bobby Petrino. What's the do you think it's easier or more difficult if you're Arkansas if there was only 2 job openings or if there's 14 jobs? Like, what do you think makes more sense? So, like, if there's so many openings this year, do you keep Bobby for another year? I mean, you're going to have to sign him to a 5-year deal with a buyout. You're going to have to do all this stuff. I don't know if you're able to just to do a 1-year deal because it hurts you in recruiting and all that type of stuff. But do you keep him knowing that, well, maybe next year there's only 1 or 2 openings, we can be kind of the marquee instead of kind of slipping under and being the 5th best job opening?
Yeah, that's why you got to get this one right. This can't be about what the next hire will be. And I even felt like in hiring Sam Pittman in 2020, that partially was about what the next hire was going to be. That in my estimation of what Sam was going to be was a stabilizing coach that helps take the program out from complete and utter embarrassment and puts it in a place where you can hire somebody that's going to take it to the next level. But, you know, after the 9-win season, I think thoughts changed. And here we are where, you know, I don't really know what to say what Sam left, who the next coach is, because this season's not over yet. Anyway, this is where you kick things off today. A lot of baseball with the championship series, both series 2-0 for the Dodgers, 2-0 for the Mariners. Dodgers have this thing figured out. If you got a bullpen that struggles, just don't let the bullpen pitch. Just let your pitcher give up a home run on the first pitch he throws and then throw another, 106, 107, and nothing comes even close to scoring. That's figuring the thing out. Who needs a bullpen, right? I think that was the first complete game in the postseason since 2019. Maybe you get to a place where pitchers are allowed to go a little bit longer. I feel maybe there could be a sea change in baseball sometime in the next 3-4 years where contact starts to matter a little bit more and starting pitchers I'm not saying you're going to go out and throw 20 complete games a year. They might give you a little bit more leeway, just a little bit more. Halftime on this Wednesday, again, it's going to be Matt Zimmerman, 1:15, Clay Henry joining us 12 noon till 2 o'clock. And after the break, Hall of Famer Grant Hall joins us. This is Halftime.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-3776.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18-month same-as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Did we invent crispy chicken? Nah. We just put it where it belongs, inside burritos and tacos, obviously. Extra saucy. 2 strips, huh? Look at that. Overachieving? Sure. Did you ask for it? No, but we did it anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic. You're welcome.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Neil Young is getting old, searching for a heart of gold. His only number one song is the number one thing most people get wrong. We tend to think we're as good as gold, but in Jeremiah 17:9 it's told, the human heart is desperately wicked right from the start. The Holy Spirit will rip you apart, but then give you a new heart. Mine for the treasure of Jesus written in the scrolls. Otherwise, you're chasing fool's gold. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
I've got a new age girl. Tell us what she's like. Environmentalist girl. Does she ride a bike? She has a crystal necklace. She spends a lot of cash. Oh, her vibes are rather reckless. She's heading for a crash. Oh, her flowing good is blowing in a transcendental wind that she wonders about knowing where to lead again. She's a vegetarian. The father said, veterinarian. Oh, she loves me so she hates to be alone. Don't eat me, but she sure like the bone.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
What's our theme today, Matt?
90s.
Oh.
90s. We got so if you got it, let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 already picked out. So there's 3. If some of our listeners or somebody wants to get in with a song to play, but we're going to do all 90s today.
All right, we are taking your request today on your hit station for sports talk and 90s alternative.
Italian Disco tomorrow.
Send them in at 877-377-6963. Most of you will get the standard DJ answer.
We'll try to get to that if we can. Yeah.
3 of you will get the song that you asked for. Grant Hall joining us on a Hall of Fame Wednesday. He is a Hall of Fame sports writer. And Grant, what were the 90s like for you? 90s for me were teenage years. That was my favorite decade ever. What was it like for you?
Well, let's see. I was 42 in 1990, so I relate everything to sports. 90 was the year that Jack Crow got fired. No, that's not right. That's not right, is it?
92, right?
90 was your boy Quinn Grovey was still doing his thing, right?
That's right. Yeah, and but when Arkansas has gone with the interim coaches, Joe Kynes was 3-6-1. John L. Smith was 4-8. Let's see, Reggie Herring was 0-1 and lost that bowl game to Missouri, and Barry Lundy Jr. was 0-2. And by the way, y'all were talking about this coaching situation. I kind of think Florida wants to get James Franklin before somebody else scoops him up. That's kind of how I would, if their board is doing this and they're putting all this pressure on him, because who knows but what Kentucky, which may come open, and Kentucky sits between Penn State and Vanderbilt, the 2 places he's been, and so he knows the recruiting area really well. He recruited a lot in Kentucky, I think, when he was at State. There's kind of a James Franklin, as you like to say, Matt, derby going on right now. And Arkansas, I mean, you hear these things that behind the scenes they have contacted him, and there is some interest there, but there's also potential interest in other places ahead of Arkansas. I mean, that's like last time, the 2 guys that really wanted this job were Sam Pittman and Barry Lundy Jr., and then Deion Sanders and a few others that weren't going to get it. But so this time, it looks to me as if the guys that really want it right now are Bobby Petrino and Dan Mullen. Mullen is said to not really care who the colorful language, who the athletic director is. A lot of these other guys that maybe there have been feelers, out to Rhett and to Sumrall and different people, I think they're concerned about who the athletic director is going to be. So
Grant, what would your vote? What would your vote? Would you think Dan Mullen would be a good fit? I think Petrino's going to get the job. If I'm just what
I do too. I don't. I mean, someone told me the other day that knew people at Mississippi State in the athletic department when he was there, that nobody in the athletic department there liked him. Now, not that that's disqualifying. I mean, Lou Holtz had his detractors when he was here, and Bobby his first time, in terms of your bedside manner and things like that. That may not matter. So it's kind of like, Mike Schilt got fired the other day, Phil. And
I was reading about this, Grant. Yeah.
Tom Pagnozzi had told me that he didn't think the Cardinals liked him very much when he was there. I know there are a lot of my friends that still wish he had stayed with the Cardinals because he did a pretty good job. And I don't know whether Tatis and Machado liked him or what happened there. Phil, have you read about that a little bit? What happened there?
I read just a little that the relationship with Schilt and the coaching staff was not very good.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he rubbed the coaches pretty poorly. I saw a little bit of that in the Texas League when Schilt managed AA Springfield. He pissed off a bunch of other coaching staffs too, but nobody's worried about that. It's just how you get along with your own people.
And it's funny because he was very good with the media, and if you just watched his post-game shows all the time, you would never know that there was any problem like that. So, but getting back to the business at hand here, I just think it all, like I talked to probably 20 guys at Paradise Valley. There was a tournament there over the weekend, and I would say 75% of them would like to go with Petrino just because up here they understand the money situation. Everybody keeps saying it's the money, the money, the money. I mean, if you look at all these interim coach situations, the record has not gotten that much better when they've replaced the guy in the middle of the season. I think there's one exception to that. I can't remember who it is in the last, few years. But there comes a point when the money talks, like at Florida, I mean, they got rid of Mullen essentially after one bad year, I think, there.
When I think about this, too, I think of, the idea of Sam Pittman was hired partially because, and you heard this so much, he really wanted the job. He wasn't going to go after other head coaching jobs. He wasn't going to go after any other job except what he did at Georgia. Opportunity presents itself at Arkansas. We know it happened. Is there a little bit of the same thing going on here with Petrino? It's different because Bobby's been a head coach and has a record as a head coach, and he's built programs before.
I
but
think
there's
there
the
is,
thought that he
Bill.
wants the job and he's not going to be going after any other job.
And not only that, he's been here 5.5 years. He's a Razorback. He worked really hard to get back to this point in his career. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't take another job if maybe he gets offered one of these head coaching jobs or a really plush OC job, But to right now, he's on his best behavior. At the Catfish Hole last week, he signed any autograph anybody when he smiled the whole program. I mean, the guy, he's loving the situation that he's in right now because it's 6 or 7 more week audition, half of a season. To impress not only Arkansas but anybody else out there that might be looking for a coach with experience. And we've all heard all the pro and con about him, but it feels to me that around here more people are for him getting it than not.
Do you think it's genuine, though? Do you think he's being authentic and real, or do you think he's like, this is what I have to do?
I think it's genuine in the sense that he's smiling a lot more this time around than he did when he was here 4 years earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what kind of real transformation someone might have had, or, excuse me, I'm sorry, but you could look at it cynically and say a leopard doesn't change his spots and so forth. I just know, I mean, to me, man, and in the Monday meetings with us, he's happy. He's happy doing this, and he wants to continue it. And now then, I even heard someone say last week Arkansas might do it sooner rather than later. Now, if they beat A&M,
is that enough? We talked about that yesterday, Grant. Is there one, like, if they beat A&M, if we go to Austin and does he just have to win one big game? Would that be enough?
I think if he beats A&M, Texas, or LSU, and one or two, I think they can very well could beat Mississippi State, maybe even Auburn in this 3-game home stand, basically, that they've got coming up. So, yeah, I mean, obviously that would be huge if they could pull an upset of the number 4 team in the country this week.
Okay, in order for that to happen, and this is, can he do something about the fumbles? Like, I wouldn't care if he would take his sunglasses off and lasers shot out of his eyes to scare everybody on that football team into holding on to the darn ball, because this is the defining. There's 2 aspects of the football team right now that is defining Arkansas football. Trouble tackling. Now, they got a little bit better at that in the Tennessee game. But the number one thing are the fumbles, and it's 2 years in a row now, and really it's a 6-year thing. So I don't know how you stop this, but you're not going to win any games if the team continues to put the ball on the ground at the rate that they do.
No, and they, Matt, you've gone through all the drills. You've seen the drills. They've got these things where they swatted the ball during practice, and they practice how not to fumble. And then when it comes down to it, a guy forgets to put 2 hands on it in a key situation, or in the case of Taylor Green, going to your left trying to throw the ball, you're vulnerable there. And so, but yeah, I mean, you're right. You if you take out those turnovers, Arkansas probably wins that game.
It's just wild to think of the world that you live in here, where we are lit. You remember the whole idea bringing in Petrino from the Falcons. It's like, all right, well, this is somebody that's always viewed the current job as the stepping stone to the next one. Nobody's talking about him like that now. The way that he's being spoken about is a potential state. Like, you're talking about him being happy and, signing all the autographs that go along with that. So maybe there has been a change in his personality that he projects outwardly. But the thing that's kind of wild to think about is that what's also changed, at least around here, is the idea that he's not going to use this job as a stepping stone to go somewhere else. I mean, maybe age is an aspect of that. Maybe, a different perspective after what happened the last time around. But that to me is one aspect. It's like, you wake up. If you went to sleep in 2010 and you wake up now and you realize what's happened in the world, and we're acting like Bobby Petrino could be a stabilizing force here. Like, that, to me, feels way different.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a great chance to get it unless the money situation dramatically, improves somehow at Arkansas. And there's no everyone I talk to says that's not going to happen anytime soon. With the kind of money we're talking about, that if he just goes 2-5 or something, and they play competitively in 2 or 3 of the other losses, that would be my thought about what's going to happen. Now, if if they go 1-6, let's say, in these 7, and they want to go with, there's a candidate that really wants it, that they feel good about, some young person who likes whoever the AD is going to be, then, I mean, I think it would be possible that Bobby might go take another job. I mean, what if he could get the Kentucky job or the, name your job? So, but I think he wants to be here, and up here in Northwest Arkansas, I think fans are pretty happy about that for the most part.
Grant, let's leave it there. We'll get into the World Series next week when we know what this World Series is going to look like. Appreciate your time as always. Thanks, man.
Okay, see ya.
You got it. Grant Hall with us every Wednesday on Halftime. And, hey, when you're watching the Hogs and Aggies on Saturday, I want you to be at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. When you're there and you're wearing your Razorback gear, you'll get half-price apps and taps during the game. That's every Razorback football game all season long. Wear your Hog gear to Joe's Grill and Cantina, half-price apps and half-price taps. Joe's is your go-to place for great food, cold drinks, and Razorback pride. Game day begins every Saturday, and they're at 3400 South 74th across from Harps. It's joesfortsmith.com. Joe's Grill and Cantina is where the tap flows and the fans roar. Join us now as we open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
Some of you'll be mad and sad, but do what we need you to do.
This is Halftime.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Out here, pets are always by your side, watching the herd, running fence lines, or asleep at your feet. Pets are some of our favorite customers. When you bring them along to Tractor Supply, we'll always have a treat waiting. And with our price match guarantee, you'll always get the best price on their favorite food, toys, treats they love, and pet meds to keep them healthy. Tractor Supply, for pets out here.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Up to $10,000 off on new Ford F-150s during the remodeling sale at Harry Robinson Saddle-Saw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Saddle-Saw. Pardon the dust, but it's progress and it's lower prices during this special sale.
Yes, you know, Tommy, Ford has actually allocated us more inventory. They've given us more new inventory since we started doing this remodel sale. And, you know, a big thing that I want to throw out there, you know, when you said, you know, the up to $10,000 off of a new Ford right now, here's the big kicker. You get all of that money off and you get the special APR financing of 72 months at 3.9% right now.
You don't have to make a choice. You get the rebates and the financing.
Yes, you know, and that's the big thing with a lot of manufacturers. You get one or the other. Not right now, not at Harry Robinson Saddle-Saw Ford. Up to $10,000 off and 72 months at 3.9% interest.
It's all part of the remodeling sale going on now. Harry Robinson Saddle-Saw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Saddle-Saw. Online at harryrobinson.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
When a business has been around more than 65 years, you know they're doing something right. Hey, Ty Richardson for Johnny's Transmission. They've been trusted in Fort Smith and the River Valley since 1959. Located at 1212 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, they strive to make every customer's experience outstanding and want your vehicle to be in the best condition for the road ahead. Check out their website, johnnystransmissionfs.com, and find them on Facebook. Johnny's Transmission, family owned and operated since 1959.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
So they feel the prayer. And the wind outside, and the taxi's ready.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Man, you're bringing it all back here for me, Matt. The 90s were look, I'm happy with what I'm doing today's day and age, but I've got a certain nostalgia for the 90s. I guess anybody from their teenage years would feel that way. But I guess I got to if I could go get myself a wig, because I don't have any hair. But back then when I did, it was a flannel shirt, and the shirt was opened to reveal the T-shirt that was underneath it.
Always had like a polka necklace,
Yep.
Yep.
And there was a butt cut on the top of my head too, man. So I don't know how good it looked, but it was there.
Nice.
Can't do it now. I just have to draw a line down the middle of my head.
You just have to look at Ty Richardson. That's all you can do. If you want hair, just look at Ty.
He's definitely works on
He's
it.
He's got the Jesse. What's the Full House character? Jesse's.
Please don't say he's Stamos.
Yeah, he's got the John Stamos hair.
He's not as good looking as Stamos.
Well, okay, who's the other guy then that was on there? The other funny guy, not Bob Saget, but there was 3 dudes. What's that other guy that? Had
Dave Coulier.
There you go. He can be Dave Coulier.
He is definitely Dave Coulier.
There you go.
You know that Alanis, speaking of 90s, Alanis wrote the famous, what's the breakup song? I'm forgetting the name of it. You Should Know. She wrote it about Dave Coulier. Oh. She wrote it about Dave Coulier. She really means that she wrote it about Ty Richardson.
The August and Everything After album, Counting Crows, Dave Duritz, one of those songs is about Jennifer Aniston. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and then, of course, if we're talking about Friends, Courtney Cox dated your boy from
Boss.
Well, who? Well, she
what in the music video.
She was in the music video,
Yeah.
but that's an '80s music video.
Yeah,
not like you watched.
Oh,
it all
she
that
dated Adam Duritz too, right?
She did.
Yeah, for a little bit.
That's exactly
I
right.
think maybe the song. Maybe I got it confused. Maybe the song's about her and not Aniston. Yeah.
Oh man, do not play. I don't think we should play Alanis Morissette today. I'm a big fan. Don't get me wrong, and she did get to play God in one of my favorite Kevin Smith movies, Dogma. But I don't know. Maybe no Alanis did, and nobody has sent in any requests for Alanis. Let's put it that way. We've got a Black Crowes request, Bullet with Butterfly. We got a couple of Smashing Pumpkins
We'll
requests.
get a Pumpkins. We just took care of our boy Chris in Springdale. That last song was a hymn request, so we'll try to take care of who we can. We got one for Coach Z that I absolutely love.
So let's see. I turned 13 in 1990. So are you a teenager when you're 12? Or is it when the actual word teen is in your
I think
in
we
your
all
age?
evolve at different ages. You could be a teenager at 11. I don't think there's anything that has to. But I would have been 7. I'm an 83 baby. I'd have been 7 in 90.
Hey, you could be 48 years old and still be a teenager.
Some people say that I need to grow up. That's right. Yeah.
Don't listen to them.
Just don't grow out. No.
Stay exactly who you are. So I was 13 in 1990, turned 20 in 97. So yeah, those were the big years, man. And yesterday was the 31st anniversary, 1990, it was 92. So it would have been the 33rd anniversary of the second worst feeling I've ever had at a baseball game that had to do with an actual thing that happened on the field and not about, I was on the air when the coach was killed in Little Rock. That's separate. When it comes to seeing heartbreaking stuff happen on a field because you didn't win a game, there's 2018 College World Series. That's top of the list. And then there's 92 Game 7 Braves and Pirates, which yesterday was the anniversary of it. I had to not get on Twitter because all it did, it's like I thought the algorithm is supposed to know you well enough to where it doesn't upset you on a routine basis. This algorithm must have hated me yesterday, man, because all it did was put up Bob Costas interviews with a number of those Pirates, and they're all saying the same thing. We knew that the window for the franchise was dead once Bream crossed the plate. And I'm like, why are you making me hate life all over again? That's the worst that I felt in the 90s. And if the worst you feel has to do with your team breaking your heart, I think you actually had a halfway decent decade then.
That's the 90s, fell in love with sports, that's for sure. Basketball, The Chicago Bulls from Penny Hardaway and Shaq in Orlando, Chris Webber, that whole deal with Chris Webber and Anthony Hardaway being traded at the deadline, Kobe Bryant going so late, Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, the Arkansas Razorbacks, rolling with Nolan 40 minutes ahead. Yeah, the 90s was a very basketball decade for me.
It was very basketball.
Rasheed Wallace, Jerry Stackhouse at UNC, the Duke UNC rivalry, the Duke Maryland. I mean, basketball was big time then.
Well, you also that was initially when players started going to the NBA right out of high school. When KG the first, Garnett.
He was one of the first. You had a couple. Jermaine O'Neal was close up there. Sebastian Telfair.
Yep.
You had I don't know if it was Latrell Sprewell. There was another one that he kind of they would kind of jump off. Larry Johnson, maybe went to school, but
I'm thinking of like a Larry Hughes.
He went
did
to
1 year at
UNLV.
St. Louis and then went to the NBA.
Yeah.
But you remember those guys too. But like, wait a minute, you mean you can go straight from high school to the NBA? Guess you could do that in baseball too, but I didn't see anybody that did it then. Best teams of the 90s: Cowboys, Chicago Bulls, and the Yankees. And when it came to the NHL, was that when like the New Jersey Devils were a dominant team, somehow winning Stanley Cups with the most boring form of hockey that was out there? So for college football, Nebraska won back-to-back championships in the 90s.
The black shirts, man. That was the thing at our school, that if you were a starting defensive guy, Phil, that you got to wear a black shirt on school on game days on Fridays because you were in the starting defense. That's what Nebraska. Yeah, football was big time.
Yeah, that's the last time. It's like the idea of Georgia, Nebraska being a big national player. They were one of the big brand names then. I mean, truthfully, in fact, they won 3 national titles in the 90s. I'd forgotten about the one they tied with Michigan in '97. So yeah, and then I mean, Duke had already risen because K had gotten them to the Final Four in the mid and late '80s. But the '90s is when they turned into the championship program.
They won 3 in like 5 years or something. Yeah.
That's when Duke became fully understood as being a basketball powerhouse. Were the 1990s with Coach K,
Charlie Ward in Florida State. I mean, love that team, man. Derek Brooks, Warwick Dunn was a true freshman, and he was like 5'3", and he's better than everybody. It was like he's kind of like reminds me of the Tony kid at the Miami receiver right now. He just looks little bitty, but you can't guard him.
What do you remember about the 90s, everybody? Jawan texted and he said, I made him feel really young because he was born in 1990. Oh, I'm just 14 years older than you, Jawan. That ain't all that much. That just means I know that you are 34. And when you call in, you sound younger than 34. How do you pull that off? I'm trying that myself. David doesn't like that you're 42, Matt. You just made him feel old, too.
Most of the time when people call in, they sound really thin.
All right, we're going to break here on halftime. Come back, wrap up hour number 1. You can either be thin or not, and it just doesn't matter.
You can't lead the club in the tub.
This is halftime.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tender love and care.
Did we invent crispy chicken? Nah. We just put it where it belongs, inside burritos and tacos, obviously. Extra saucy. 2 strips, huh? Look at that. Overachieving? Sure. Did you ask for it? No, but we did it anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell. A brand new classic. You're welcome.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and it's just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's where bettors win together because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small.
Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561.
Or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Neil Young is getting old, searching for a heart of gold. His only #1 song is the #1 thing most people get wrong. We tend to think we're as good as gold, but in Jeremiah 17:9 it's told, the human heart is desperately wicked right from the start. The Holy Spirit will rip you apart, but then give you a new heart. Mine for the treasure of Jesus written in the scrolls. Otherwise, you're chasing fool's gold. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
We only come out at night. The days are much too bright. We only come out at night. And once again, you pretend to know me well. And once again, I pretend to know the way through the empty space, through the secret places of
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
So we already got into the idea of Billy Napier being let go this weekend if they lose to Mississippi State. Heck, even if they beat Mississippi State. It would be an odd thing to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Gators pull the trigger on it this weekend. Auburn's got Missouri before they come in here to Fayetteville to take on the Razorbacks. Will Hugh Freeze even be the coach there by the time that happens? Yesterday, Freeze at the media availability announced that one of the players that he had named team captain has been booted off the team. It's a running back, Damari Alston, been there 4 years. He was a team captain and has been let go from the team, and Freeze saying that he enjoyed coaching him, then he loved the kid, but he just wasn't ready to do the things that he needs to do in order to be ready for games. So I said, failed to meet the standards and expectations of the program. We love him. We wish him well. And then later on in Tiger Talk radio program, I don't know if he didn't say exactly what it was, but sort of hinted a little bit that he might have either missed meetings or been late to meetings. Some of the stuff Tua was talking about. But some of the Auburn players have gotten on their Instagram, and they have, they don't seem to be too pleased about this. So it's interesting times at Auburn, too, for certain. It already was interesting just because Freeze is there. But I don't know if mutiny be the right word, but they're not too happy there.
Does Rhett Lashley have any ties to Auburn?
Yes. He was an OC there.
What do you think he would choose if Auburn and Arkansas both come calling? I
hope you take Arkansas, honestly.
It's like, what if Arkansas and Auburn both offer him the head football coaching gig? Who has more resources? Auburn's always the little brother. I get that, and Arkansas is the only show in town. But who has more? Auburn usually once a decade they catch lightning in a bottle. 90s they won a national title. Was it 10 or 12? I forget when Cam Newton was there, but they won another one.
Was it about having
Jason Campbell and them as 04 kind of split one that year? So they it's like every decade they catch lightning in a bottle.
Even Gus's first year, undefeated regular season, losing the national title game. So, I would like to think, though, Matt, truthfully, that Arkansas can catch lightning in a bottle at some point, too. I honestly don't know why you can't at Arkansas. This happened before. Maybe not to national championship caliber, but there's been lightning in a bottle at Arkansas previously.
Get a Darren McFadden, get a Ryan Mallett, get some pieces around it. Bobby Petrino did it once before.
Hour number 2 coming up. Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins us for the rest of the show. You can be a part of it on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Stay with Halftime, back into the 12 o'clock hour after this.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two. With fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painter's Trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Later on tonight, mainly clear, and overnight low, mid to upper 50s. And then as we head into Thursday, lots of sunshine, low 80s. Friday, we end the week with sunshine and a high into the low to mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin State dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback.
It's vintage Matt Jones.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hour number 2, it's 12:01, and welcome back in on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston producing, and we'll be welcoming in Hall of Famer Clay Henry in just a moment here on a 90s Wednesday. We've had some requests come in for music. We are taking some requests, not all of them. 877-377-6963. A little back and forth with some listeners on the text line in the last few minutes about the Auburn job compared to the Arkansas job. It feels like a foregone conclusion that Auburn job is going to be open sometime soon, sooner rather than later. Seth says Auburn would spend more. Expectations at Arkansas are lower. Pinto with a very simple statement of Auburn is a better job. And Hogwild says that Auburn has a better recruiting base, just as much money as Arkansas, if not more. And so there are three. There are three that think that Auburn would be a better job. But if you're Rhett Lashley and you're choosing between the two, does loyalty have much to do with it of being a Razorback? I'm not sure.
Does Jimmy Franklin make his return back to the SEC? I mean, if Florida comes open, that seems like a perfect spot. You win it. He was able to win at Vandy. We know that. And sometimes change of scenery is good. I think James Franklin's a heck of a coach. For whatever reason, he just can't win the big game. He can't win a game it's kind of like. I guess I'm trying to think if Coach Bielema wins any. It's like when you get into a top 5, top 10 game, he just doesn't. He doesn't ever win it.
Mm-hmm. Let's bring on Hall of Famer Clay Henry here on the Hall of Fame Wednesday. Can read Clay, of course, at Whole Hog Sports. He's the features editor. And Clay, good to have you on for a second day in a row.
I'm glad to be here. You guys got interesting discussion. And so all of this is the eye of the beholder. Mm-hmm. So each person gets to decide. I can't tell you, Phil or Matt, what you think of the Arkansas job or whatever. I can only tell you what I think of it, and every person has a little bit different twist of it, and it's so there's some real problems with the Auburn job. One is the plus is the proximity to really good recruiting base, which is North Florida and Atlanta. The problem is that they're going to play Alabama and Georgia every year. And their fans are going to compare their success rate to them. Their expectations that's the problem with Auburn, is that no matter what you do, unless it's a national championship, it's not going to be enough. So they've obviously fired coaches that have done really well, but didn't have that national championship. Tommy Tuberville, there's no question that he was successful as the Auburn coach. Enough so that he had an easy time winning a statewide election. But in their eyes, though, it was time to get rid of a coach that went undefeated there.
Here's the thing: you look back at Auburn's history, even recent history, just starting with the year 2000. There's a year every once in a while where they'll jump out, like the year Tuberville had 13-0,
or Chiswick,
or Malzahn
or
had
Gus.
a couple of years. But outside, you can't take those seasons away. Those seasons are fact; they happened. But outside of those seasons, they're very much a 7 or 8 win program. I mean, even in the time since Sam was hired, and at the same time you had Gus Malzahn going out at Auburn, they have been a 5 or 6 win program with the same with all the things that folks were just saying: more money, bigger recruiting base, higher expectations too going along with that. They haven't hired the right person. That's one aspect, but it's the background. It's everything going on in the background too that I think you'd be a little bit wary of being the head coach at Auburn.
And then what you have to, again, your comparison is going to be right up the road at 2 hours, 3 hours away at Tuscaloosa, or at Athens, or at Gainesville. So that's the good and the bad of where they're located.
Arkansas's open, Florida's open, Auburn's open. What do you put Clay, Auburn, Florida then? Because everybody's saying Auburn and Florida are better jobs than Arkansas, but where do you rank the Auburn, Florida? Which one of those jobs would be better?
Well, sometimes where the expectations are lower is a better job. So it's again, I'm telling you what's in the eye of the beholder. So what would make an Arkansas fan? I don't think you have to win a national championship to make Arkansas fans do backflips. They obviously were pleased with Bobby Petrino, and he didn't win a national championship. He didn't make the playoffs. He didn't even make win the SEC West or go to Atlanta. But it was the style of play and the success, modest success, over, say, a year and a half. It wasn't continued success. We don't even know if he was going to maintain it the next year, when they had all the injuries. Maybe they would have. Maybe his lifting regimen and off-season, they wouldn't have had the injuries. I've heard people that really understand football that John L. Smith and that staff didn't prepare the team the way Bobby would have. And I tend to go along with that. But is Florida a better job? Well, you may not last long there unless you really win at a high level quickly. Billy Napier probably is a pretty good coach, but he's not getting it done to the level that I thought that was a pretty good hire. And same thing, Auburn.
Everybody
how good
thought
of a job
was
is
a good
it?
hire too. I mean,
That's
you
what
brought
I'm
somebody
getting
in,
at.
one in the SEC, and you get rid of the guy that
and
didn't know
there is
anything about the
not-
region.
And they're not going to wait very long. So Sam got longer than Napier, or so what I'm getting at is the expectations at Arkansas are going to give a coach a little better chance. So what makes it a better job? Well, in the coach's eyes, do I have a chance to stay along enough to build the program? But we're in a much different time than any in history, in that fans do expect, because of NIL and the transfer portal, that you can flip the switch like Prime did at Colorado. In other words, bring a completely different roster in, and then you're off to the races. And it's not as easy as that.
We were playing music from the 90s during this show today, Clay. And if I think of the 90s for Arkansas football, that's when they started to get their footing into being an SEC program and emerged, in the back of the 90s as a good, not championship caliber, but a good SEC football program. And then you had yourself, that decade which I'll even count, Petrino's 2 really good years as part of that decade, just for the conversation's sake. That to me is the kind of decade that Arkansas can have. The expectations sometimes are, what have you just recently done? But I look back here, it's the same idea as like at Matt Rule at Nebraska, and now he's in his mind. He's talking openly about, Penn State versus Nebraska. I'm happy being the Huskers coach and treating that like it's, like I think you would view the Huskers in the 90s when they win all these national titles. You can still be that. Can Nebraska still be a national championship team with 100,000 people in the stadium and the money gets right? Who knows? They just don't have it's a tougher league to win in. I see the decade that you played in, Matt, as a decade that Arkansas can be again. It's not, I was looking at like 10-year periods, but I'm seeing this. We're like a beat down fan base. It's a beat down football program from 14 years of running through all this craziness without not having an anchor. And I still see Arkansas football as something that can be 8 to 10 wins on an annual basis. Some of it has to do with catching the lightning in a bottle sometimes, and maybe that was the case with Bobby. Matt, maybe that was the case with one of your teams
with
too.
Houston. Yeah, there would have been one of those years we won the West. Maybe I know one year we would have made the playoff 12. And then Houston would have made it again with 2 years, I think, with McFadden's group, and then Bobby would have made it with that 1 year with it. So you think about that. That's 3 times in a decade you could have made the playoffs, and I think that's I think we talked about this last year. It seemed like, what would be success at Arkansas? Well, if you made the playoffs once or twice a decade, that would be, man. And I don't think that's unreasonable either. I don't think that's a goal that you're talking about, like a pie in the sky type of goal. I think that's a tangible goal.
So let's do big picture. And you brought up the 90s. So, and you're right. 95 was a fun season. You got Auburn and Alabama in the same year, beat them in the same year. That team went to the SEC West, but it was won the SEC West and went to the playoffs. But by then they were kind of beaten down. The SEC had kind of run its course on that Arkansas team. You started to have some injuries. You were beat up a little bit. But then let's go. What was the team that Houston Nutt inherited in '98? It was loaded with linemen, good linemen. They were seasoned. Danny Ford had done one really great thing. His coaches recruited linemen, offensive and defensive line. You can go look at the defensive linemen that that Houston Nutt inherited, and they were too deep. I mean, they really had quality offensive and defensive linemen, and they had played and they had practiced the right way. I'm talking about tough, grinding practices. And that team was ready-made to win a championship. And until Clint tripped, I could argue that they were on track to win a national championship.
Playoff team, playoff.
If Tennessee, if all you had to do was win the SEC playoff. If you won that game, you were in the 2-team playoff, and that's what Tennessee did. And Arkansas had them beat on their field, and that was Tennessee's national championship. But it very well could have been Arkansas's. And why? Because they were loaded with offensive and defensive linemen that were battle-tested, both in practice and games. So how do you get linemen now? There's only one way, and that's with NIL. Defensive linemen, defensive tackles, defensive ends, they are the rarest humans in America. Big, fast, I call them war daddies.
Well, and there's a huge
There's
reason
the
why
only
they're
way you can
paid
get those.
Well, they're paid as outliers in the NFL. You're viewing it the same way in college.
So you have to decide, we're going to compete, and we're gonna have enough money to buy. So what is Texas Tech doing? They're loaded with linemen right now. They decided that that's how they're going to do it. And I saw what Notre Dame had, and I've seen what Ohio State has. Alabama's got linemen right now. They've spent the money in. Now, I don't think they have quite as much money funded as a few other programs around the country. Ohio State, I think probably in Texas probably have the most, but they've got linemen. You know, their left and right tackle and offense are really good players, and I think the same thing is going on in Ole Miss. They've spent on defensive linemen. I mean, what I saw last year was 2 deep defensive linemen, 8 or 9, the team they brought to Fayetteville. Not quite as good in that area as last year, in my opinion. That might get them before the season's over if they get some injuries. But if you want to be successful at Arkansas, go get you some defensive ends and defensive tackles. And it's going to be expensive. You know, $200,000 isn't going to do it. You're going to lose the bidding war. And that is probably the easiest position to evaluate. I mean, when you see a defensive tackle that's 20 years old, that's already played, you got the tape of it, it is really easy for, you know, the top 10 money programs to say that's a dude. So
because there's not 50 of them. You're exactly there.
No,
there's,
and
there's
so
50
you
running
have to
backs,
have
but
enough money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in the NFL has identified the same thing. Running backs they're much cheaper. Now, every once in a while there's a great one that you better pay for, like a Barkley. But by and large, you know, I don't think the Chiefs are spending a fortune on their running backs.
No, they put a receiver back there.
Yeah.
They got a slot receiver and made him tell you.
But it's if you go back and you research the history of Arkansas football and you see the years where they popped up and won, and you might say, well, it's a McFadden or it's this guy or it's that guy. It's really not. It's tackles for losses and sacks. It is
Sean Andrews and Jason Peters.
Well, that's an outlier. That's you know, those are offensive. That's an offensive tackle and a tight end. But by and large, the teams that have been really successful at Arkansas, it's 1964. What did they have? They had Lloyd Phillips. He's as good as ever played at Arkansas, defensive tackle. What about Wayne Martin? What about Dan Hampton? Well, those teams, they won at a higher level because they could get stops. They got sacks, tackles for losses. You know, Dan Hampton, he played besides Jimmy Walker and Dale White, Stan Freeman. They were all really good. Then you go forward a little bit and you say, well, what about Jake Beckett? Well, he's got sacks. I mean, a ton of them. What about Jamal Anderson? Those are the winning years. And it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be really expensive, but that's what's got to change. And I looked at what Tennessee was able to do as far as pressure the quarterback enough. It wasn't, you know, every play, but their speed at defensive end, defensive tackle is different than what Arkansas is playing with. And so if you want to compete and you want to jump up, and every now and then you're going to have to go out and buy you some defensive end and defensive tackles. And they did it. Jim Washburn did it without NIL, but nobody else had NIL either. So it was a different playing field. You know, a great recruiter. I'm talking about somebody that can establish relationships. Bobby Allen was that. Jim Washburn was that. Steve Caldwell was that. You know, somebody that's a defensive line coach that is just a magical recruiter as well as a good coach. And I think it's more about, does he have a bag of money with him when he goes?
Join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline anytime, 877-377-6963. Also remember the Fence Man. Write this number down, 479-782-3936. That's the Fence Man. Nobody does it any better than the Fence Man, serving our listening audience over 40 years, building custom, one-of-a-kind fences, commercial, high-security, residential, and if you need automatic gates, the Fence Man does that. Also features 18-month financing. It's the Fence Man, 479-782-3936, thefencemanAR.com. The Fence Man ain't afraid of no work. And we're back with more halftime after this break.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
This is Zachary Hall, the Arkansas Storm Tracker. The Jam Mart team is excited to announce their Customer Appreciation Day on Thursday, October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There will be specials all day long, including a big 99-cent menu with Crispitos, corn dogs, chicken tenders, and more. Be sure to wait to fill up your gas tanks that week. The discounted prices will be worth it. Plus, they're drawing for a gas card. You can sign up for your chance to win all week in-store. 99-cent sausage biscuits will be available at the Jam Mart Phoenix Avenue location Monday through Friday. Don't miss out on Customer Appreciation Day at Jam Mart on Phoenix Avenue, Thursday, October 23rd.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home, quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
How could I possibly be expected to handle work on a day like this? Take a day off and check out the certified pre-owned rides at Rath Auto Resources. All this month, take advantage of huge discounts on our road-ready certified pre-owned vehicles, inspected, reconditioned, and backed by a comprehensive warranty. So choice. I highly recommend picking one up. Life moves pretty fast, so stop and look around at Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, rathautofortsmith.com. You're still here? The ad's over.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cole Johnson with River Valley Smile Center. If you're hiding your smile because of chipped, stained, or uneven teeth, or you feel like your smile doesn't reflect how you feel inside, our dental team is here to help. We offer a variety of cosmetic and restorative dental services, from custom veneers to full mouth rehabilitation. We take pride in combining clinical precision with an artistic eye to help you feel confident and comfortable every step of the way. It's time to love your smile again. Call 479-646-0706 or visit rivervalleysmiles.com to set up your consultation. Let's create the smile you've always wanted.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
There was a doubleheader in August, and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Doe's Eat Place has been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years, and now they're offering smoked prime rib on the weekends. It's a limited supply, so get your reservations in early. Try one of their delicious appetizers or your choice of drinks from the area's largest selection of wine, beer, and liquor. Doe's Eat Place open Tuesday through Thursday 5 to 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Follow them on Facebook for more upcoming features and events. Call 479-784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street in Fort Smith.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
The great feeling on the earth, well, it's lasted for a while. Take my thoughts for what they're worth. I've been acting like a child. In your opinion, and what is that? It's a different point of view. sorry. Oh, no. I said I'm sorry, but what for? If I hurt you, then I hate myself. I don't wanna hate myself, don't wanna hurt you. What do you?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Yeah, you saw it. He smiled. I walk in and I say, finally, I can see you smiling. I've never seen your smile. I want him to have a ball playing. Listen, he should be a double-double with 4 to 5 blocks every game. And if he's not giving us what he's capable of giving us.
John Calipari yesterday on SEC Network, he's sitting next to DJ Wagner, and then there's Trevin looking over the corner at him, and he's got that look. He's got that TB look. You know the look. He doesn't smile too much. He glares. He's not glaring at Cal, but he ain't smiling either.
Sometimes it comes across as being a little sullen. And, I mean, hey, I'm a guy that doesn't smile a lot. I mean, I had people say, "What, are you unhappy?" No, I guess I'm deep in thought. I'm not unhappy. I may be even happy and look that way. But they have worked the smiles, into his everyday life, and that's a big part of why he's being successful now. I think he's a happy Razorback.
There was something that Cal's talking about yesterday about needing to be able to have a post presence, and how Jonas Aidoo turned into that post presence, near the end of the season when that foot injury, started to heal, and where I thought it already had been healing, but he was just more used to it. And man, I mean, you could see things really uptick from the ability to dump it into him, and he could score or dish to the outside. He's talking the same way about Pringle and Malik Ewan, being important in that sense. I just wonder, and I guess it's difficult to point to one player on such a talented team, but really, for me, the thing that stood out at the end of the season more than anything was Trevin Brazile doing the things that I think we saw him doing in the first year before the knee injury. And for 3 or 4 games, we saw it. It must have taken, obviously it takes time to heal from that injury, but I also think the ability to let go and play at that level, right, Matt?
Well, I think it's mental. I mean, I think you have to trust that knee. You have to trust that you can do those things. But he didn't put it on the floor and blow by people until really late last year. And when he did, and of course, then they've got to back off of him a little bit, and he's got that 3-point shot. I mean, but let's just be real blunt about what sports is, whether it's football, where it's basketball. Good big people beat good little people. They just do. Whether it's a defensive tackle or it's a post guy, whether it's Oliver Miller, Corliss Williamson, Joe Klein. We can go down the list. Moses Kingsley. It's there's more, but when you have that low post presence, it changes the way the teams have to defend. And there's something about a 2-foot lay-in or dunk that demoralizes the other team. It's a great comeback. It's also the way you put away a team. And I've watched Cal's teams play for years. They've always had the guys, when they get off the bus, they got to duck their heads. And they can go to the low post and score. And when you have to double team, when you have to go down there and help, the shooters have a blast because they're open. And there's not any doubt that 94 and 95, when Arkansas almost ran the table twice, that they had Corliss Williamson, they had Lee Wilson, they had Darnell Robinson, they had Dwight Stewart, and a couple of more. I mean, it's like nobody had that kind of size. Nobody had that kind of low post and ability to control the defensive rebounds. Now, they had the guards, they had the shooters, but, man, and I see that kind of size and that kind of length on this Arkansas team. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, and to your point, I agree 100% with you, Clay. Inside, you got to be able to control the paint and have some length there. But I'll take it a step further. That's why Anthony Black is better than Boogie Fland. They both play point guard, but who's the bigger, stronger athlete? It's like, duh. So it's across the board, too. If your two guard is Joe Johnson, well, he's a bigger athlete than most two guards. If your point guard's Anthony Black, Magic Johnson was the first guy to come out at 6'9" point. Nobody knew what to do because they were all Isaiah Thomas's size. So it's not just the bigs, but it's also your wings and your guards, if they can be bigger than the other team's guards as well.
Yeah, I think Eddie Sutton, he loved, and you go back and you look at, the triplets, 6'4", 6'5", Alvin Robertson and Darrell Walker, 6'4". They're outliers. I mean, they're guard. I mean, everybody else is playing with 6'1" guards. Well, it's a mismatch. They can offensive rebound. They can block shots. Their length in the passing lane.
You can switch in the transition.
Oh, yeah.
If you get caught up, he can guard a 3 or a 4 for a second. Wait until you switch back.
Yeah, and have a 6'6" Matt Jones with athletic ability. It's not fair to normal sized people. It's just not. And I think that they've got the length, and these freshmen, Acuff and Thomas, they're long. They're not they're not little basketball players, and plus they're athletes. The combination of that is what length and speed, athletic ability.
Brett in Heber Springs on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Brett, are you there?
Yes, sir. Now, pardon me because I've never called into a radio show before. So if I ramble, feel free to hang up on me.
Go for it, Brett. You're good.
I've never thought about I've thought about this before, so I was going to call and let y'all know. Why can't Arkansas, when you're like targeting a player that you know is going to be a good college player, but maybe not necessarily a pro, have Walmart as part of an NIL deal say, okay, look, after you do your 4 or 5 years here at Arkansas, we'll open up you a Walmart store, or where you could be the manager. That way you've got a comfortable job for the rest of your life done. And then if you aim for a really good player that you know can be a professional, that's where you go to Stephen Zink and say, hey, look, can you help these people that are going to be having millions, handle their money? And I just wonder if they could use that as some sort of NIL deal.
I understand what he's saying here, guys, but I also feel like that's kind of already what happens at Arkansas. Well, you got to be there for a while in order, for the Walmart job offer to come, right? I don't know if it happens for guys that are there for 1 year and you don't really get a chance to meet the movers and the shakers. But
yeah, so let's just think about it in these terms. The top end jobs Walmart are not given before you come to college. They are earned after you prove that you are management, or they're not just giving jobs away. You earn them. You go interview for them. So that doesn't work.
Well,
and that really doesn't work anywhere.
I also don't think that Walmart views the Arkansas athletic department as the petri dish where they're going to be getting executives on a routine basis. Nothing against Arkansas athletics or anything. They're casting a really wide net. Yeah. I don't know what it's like to run a corporation or hire people, but my guess is they're not zeroing in specifically on athletic departments.
If you are a top end football player and you also have a master's from the Walton Business College, well, then you're a target. It doesn't work the other way. Mm-hmm. They're hiring top end people. And then the other part is, as far as Walmart specifically, given NIL deals, that's not their business model because it would be frowned upon by their stockholders. You know, they're in business for their stockholders, and that's why the Walmart stock is so good. And you know, the stockholders are not just in Arkansas; they're scattered all over the world, and you got to make those people happy because that's they want the dividends. So I don't think everybody understands that. Now, if you are one of Sam Walton's heirs and you have, you know, $150 billion, you know, hopefully there's maybe one of them that decides they really like Arkansas football, kind of the same way John Tyson likes Arkansas basketball. So that's where it would come from. It wouldn't come from Walmart corporate office, and that's hard for some people to understand, but that's not really what they exist for. They've got to make money for their stockholders.
All right, let's break on halftime. Join us at 877-377-6963 for the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Halftime returns right after this break.
Now that you're paying players, and I know a bank with $27 billion, I'd love to have the Arkansas job.
This is halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Green's in the gun. Off play action. Going to throw it right over the middle, and it's caught for a touchdown. Rohan Jones.
This is halftime.
The Brew Credit. Attention truck enthusiasts, it's Truck Month at Rhodes Chevrolet, and we're revving up the savings. Right now, get behind the wheel of a powerful new Chevy 1500 pickup with interest rates as low as 2.9%. That's right, 2.9% on select new 1500 models. Whether you need a workhorse for the job site or a smooth ride for the family, we've got the perfect truck for you. Don't miss this chance to drive home in America's favorite pickup. Stop in today at Rhodes Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best prices, period.
Looking for a roofing company you can trust? Meet Three Ladies in a Roof. We're locally owned, certified, insured, and bonded roofing company. Three Ladies in a Roof can handle everything from start to finish with honesty, quality, and integrity. A hardworking company that knows roofing. Go with the crew that gets it done right. Three Ladies in a Roof stands behind their roof so you can stand under it. Call 501-658-3193. Three Ladies in a Roof, helping you with all your roofing needs. Ready to serve the River Valley.
Crisp air, colorful leaves, and the perfect season to get moving. It's fall at True Grit Running Company. Whether you're hitting the trails, walking the neighborhood, or cheering from the sidelines, we've got the shoes, apparel, and accessories to keep you comfy and supported. From cozy layers to top brands like Hoka, Brooks, and OOFOS, fall into your new favorites today. Stop by True Grit Running Company on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, right behind Chick-fil-A. This autumn, let your journey start with True Grit.
Game days just got a whole lot cheesier at Art's Barbecue and Burgers on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Art's legendary smoked brisket queso is back. There's no better game time treat than this house-made queso, loaded with chunks of Art's smoked brisket. And try the sloppy pig, Art's hand-patted burger, topped with pulled pork and smothered in smoked brisket queso. Make your game days cheesy at Art's Barbecue and Burgers, Rogers Avenue, 2 doors east of Lowe's in Fort Smith.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Days like this, I don't know what to do with myself all day. All night, under the halls, along the walls, and under my breath, I say to myself, I need you to take flight. There's too much going on, but it's kind of the under the waves in the blue.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us up until the end of the show today. You can join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline anytime, 877-377-6963. As the Texas Tech-Kansas game from last weekend has come out now from $50,000 in fines, split evenly between the two teams. Kansas made an inaccurate statement regarding a pocket knife that they had found on the sideline. And then the Texas Tech fans apparently are throwing tortillas on the field during the game, which is probably I haven't thrown a tortilla ever, but if we're going by kind of food and how it will travel, I would think a tortilla could travel really well if you can cook
like
it a little
Frisbee.
bit. Yeah, it's like a Frisbee. It's exactly right. Did anybody try? So the thing about a tortilla is you can sneak it into a football stadium. It's like a Bota bag where I used to put those under my arm walking into the Indiana football stadium. Nobody knew that was there. It's a little difficult to like hide I think you could probably throw a watermelon or a cantaloupe and with some accuracy. I'm not advocating for this because that's a real stupid thing to do. But where are you going to hide a watermelon or a cantaloupe when you're walking in a football stadium?
So let's go back to 1977. Arkansas's wrapping up their Orange Bowl bid to go beat Oklahoma, and so they're, sure enough, here came Oranges out of the stands, out on the field. It's one of the great one-line. I mean, Lou Holtz has about 1,000 great one-liners, but his after that was just priceless. I'm just glad we weren't going to the Gator Bowl.
You see, when a team clinches going to the Rose Bowl, don't we end up seeing roses in there?
Roses, yeah.
Yeah, you see roses all over the place.
And the players are running around with roses in their clenched between their teeth. That's part of it.
Now, there have been certain objects thrown at WNBA games that might get people's attention pretty easily. I don't know how easy they are to throw. It's like throwing the baton that you're trying to hand from one track star to another. in the medley. But I think the most famous things to be thrown on a court of competition of some sort, outside of the snowballs that Philadelphia fans threw at, was it Santa, or did they throw that at their own team with batteries inside of them? It's the octopus that gets thrown onto the ice at the first playoff game that the Detroit Red Wings play annually. I think they still do that too. Which are there multiple people trying to drag an octopus inside a stadium? Do you need a ticket for the octopus? If it has its own seat, probably so. But that's the most famous one that I could think of. And now you got tortillas being thrown on the field.
Well, and
Texas, better than burritos. Might as well
you get a hat
tortillas.
trick in hockey. Everybody throws their hat out there.
Right. You know, a hat can actually do a little bit of damage.
Hats. Yeah. They have to, then they have to pick up all the hats.
Did
you know you don't get your hat back?
Of course you don't. That's why I never threw one on the ice when I went to Penguins games. Because I will lose my hat, but I'm not going to give it away to somebody.
Yeah. It's given away.
877-377-6963 calls and texts. Jody and Harrison remembers when George W. Bush, president, I don't remember what country he was in when he had that press conference, and a guy threw shoes at him. Well, Joey's right. The Chair by Bobby Knight, probably a little bit more famous. And that was a one-time thing. It's not like they turned that into a tradition. I do remember, and so Kevin and the 479 90s are part of the theme today. One of my heartbreaks as a 90s sports fan was watching the Penguins lose in, I think it was a Wales Conference finals against the Florida Panthers. And that was the year, Kevin, that they started throwing plastic rats on the ice for every goal. Because I guess they found a rat in the locker room a couple months before the season ended. And it's the same thing of like the rally monkeys or the rally possum at LSU. If you're winning games and you think that's the reason why, I guess that is the reason why. So they were throwing plastic rats on the ice at the Florida Panthers games back then. I don't know if they still do it or not. But the Bobby Knight chair thing, like that's a one-time thing. I've never heard of another coach doing it, and the players obviously never got into it too. All right, we got a couple of callers on hold. I want to break so I can get to these callers and give them a little bit of time. So stay with us, callers. We'll get your calls and your texts.
Don't throw anything.
We wrap up don't throw your phone. We'll wrap up hour number 2 of halftime after this.
Guys, we're going full speed. We still got a lot of things to work on.
This is halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hungry for steak? TGI Fridays in Fort Smith is serving up the best hand-cut 14-ounce ribeyes, tender 8-ounce bacon wrap fillets, and massive loaded baked potatoes. It's the new steakhouse menu at TGI Fridays. And for football nights, Monday and Thursday, it's wings for just 50 cents each, all day long, boneless or traditional with a 10-piece minimum. Bring the team, bring the fans. Big groups are welcome, and we're open till midnight on Friday and Saturday. TGI Fridays, steaks, wings, football, it's all here at TGI Fridays at 540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with always on energy. Visit AOGC.com.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howe in Van Buren.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hey Razorback fans, Matt Jones here. We're all experiencing higher prices on just about everything, and that includes sunrooms, patio covers, and windows. If you've gotten an estimate on any of these projects and you were shocked by the price, then you need to call Sawyers. They've been making quality, affordable products for 35 years. They're local, they have 100% financing, and a beautiful showroom with all their products displayed. So give my buddy Buzz a call or check them out, sawyers-sunrooms.com.
If you or a loved one experienced emotional distress due to slow internet 25 years ago, Taco Bell believes you're entitled to a delicious escape. The Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Tacos, 7-layer burrito, caramel apple empanada, and more. All $3 or less. Claim 5 returning faves and relive what you love from the 2000s. If you already sub for dial-up, don't wait any longer. Experience Taco Bell's Decades Y2K menu now. At participating stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price of participation vary. Tax extra.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Hold on to love, that is what I do, now that I've found you. And everything's stinking, they're not around you.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Still waiting for, like Jodeci or Keith Sweat at some point.
Sorry,
man,
brother.
90s. Not going to happen.
Y'all have to send one of those in, but that's not my bag, baby.
Jawan in Fayetteville on our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Jawan, what's up?
Hey, I'm enjoying the music today.
Me too. I want Jodeci. I want to slow dance with myself
Casey
today,
and
Matt.
JoJo, maybe. All right, we'll throw some nine. We still got an hour. I got some big pun coming up for your boy Coach Z.
Hey, you know D'Angelo passed away. I don't know if he was 90s or not. Was he 90s?
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah.
That's right.
George Strait was 90s.
There we go. We'll finish with the George Strait, Clay.
The legends. But, yeah, fellas, just sitting back listening to the show. I don't think since, our good days, even since 2012, have we had a real solid, what we would call an SEC group of receivers with a quarterback to go along with it. I think we've missed on the quarterback position more times than we've hit. I think when we finally got a salvageable quarterback in these past few years, it started with Felipe Franks. KJ Jefferson, he was decent. He didn't turn the ball over, But we haven't got that Jaden Daniels, that Matt Corral type of guy, or we haven't had that in these past few years, or the type of athletes that we can run with some of these guys. Yeah, we're talking about the Bobby Petrino era earlier. Yeah, we had some good times, but we could never beat LSU. We could never quite beat Alabama. We were close, don't get me wrong, but they always out-athleted us. During those times, LSU had guys like Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. They had plenty of corners and safeties. They were DBU for a long time.
Yeah, Bobby
Alabama
beat LSU in Little Rock.
With Petrino?
Yeah, with Ryan Mallett. I mean, the we didn't come here to paint play was against LSU. Joe Adams beat Honey Badger in 1-on-1 move, 4th and 3. That was LSU.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
those
it.
Those are the teams that we usually go up against. And yeah, we might have got them that year, but they end up going to the national championship the very next year. They beat us. They went undefeated. They beat Alabama, and they had it was a rematch game. That first game was a 6-0 game, but the way I see it, we've never had the great collection of athletes since we had, let's say, Peyton Hillis, Darren McFadden, Felix Jones. You go to LSU, they're not still talking about Kevin Falk anymore. You know, they're not talking about some of those old players anymore. They're talking about Fournette, and they've had guys since then. Arkansas, we've got to get some guys to where we're not talking about our old past guys. It's time to create a new era. We got to get some better players, man, in here. It's how I see it. And it's not all about money. You have to have excitement about your program. You got to have kids that are willing to come here. That's why this is me personally. I'll take a chance on a D1 kid that's a 2-star from Arkansas because they're going to play with pride. And this is their home state. They're going to put it all on the line like Traylon Burks did. I know Traylon Burks was a higher recruited player, but anybody who doesn't think Burks could have went to LSU or Bama and started, that kid was 6'3", 235, running a 4.3. He was a freak. He could have went anywhere he wanted, but he chose to come here and represent us. Those are the guys we got to get. We can't go out here and star chase. Let's evaluate and get our best players in our state, and I think that'll turn the tide. Like you just said, we had Joe Adams, Jarius Wright, Greg Childs, Ryan Mallett. He's a hometown dude. Kobe Hamilton, Dennis Johnson. We can keep naming them, and those guys were good SEC players. That's when we'll swing the tide. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Juwan, it's good to hear from you. Pinto, stay on hold. We're right up on the break, and we'll get to you when we come back at the top of the 1 o'clock hour. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us for the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Matt Zimmerman joining us at 1:15, the brand new director of A Club and former student-athlete engagement at the Razorback Foundation, and we'll be talking a lot of Hog basketball with him. Anything else you want to hit on? Get with us when we come back right after this.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Artie's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Bow season is underway, and the Arkansas Alternative Firearms season opens October 16th. Jelco Outdoors has all your muzzle loading and straight wall cartridge supplies. Check out the CBA Scout, Franke, Ruger, Savage, Tikka, and Winchester straight wall rifles in calibers 350 Legend, 45-70 Gov, 360 Buckhammer, and 400 Legend. Jelco has the largest selection of hunting clothing, footwear, and hunting supplies in the River Valley. Get ready to go deer hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
It's fall cleanup time at Gray Brothers Equipment. From the large M7 Series Kubotas to the L2502, the best-selling compact tractor in Arkansas and Oklahoma, Gray Brothers and Kubota will make your fall cleanup a breeze. And with Gray Brothers low pricing plus great interest rates from Kubota, they're making fall cleanup enjoyable again. Come see the full line at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be into the lower 80s. Later on tonight, mainly clear, and overnight low, mid to upper 50s. And then as we head into Thursday, lots of sunshine, low 80s. Friday, we end the week with sunshine and a high into the low to mid 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Tommy's right on this one. Do you feel? Let me ask you this.
Normal around here. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it.
Live from the Busch Lights Studio.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. Bill said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
What they but one Razorback? It's vintage Matt Jones. The Cinderella story is over, man. Let's go.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, hour 3. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Hall of Famer Clay Henry is with us as well, and the one and only C-Movie, Kristen Johnston in the producer's chair for the moment. And we're doing a talk with Matt Zimmerman in about 15 minutes from right now. So get with us anytime at 877-377-6963.
He's a big 90s guy. You know, you're the L.A. guy. He's a big 90s guy, man. Yeah.
So with Matt Zimmerman, you only have to ask 2 questions. That's 15 minutes easy.
That's why I asked him to come on today. No, I'm kidding.
But, I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, it's the same thing. My old boss, Bill Valentine, was the same thing. So if I was tired of talking with the team manager, and none of the players are all that interesting at the moment. The only thing I couldn't do is you don't want to go interview Bill if the team's on a losing streak, because then the interview becomes about the team. And it's the only man that ever sat next to me before and called his own manager an idiot on the radio. So
and then the other common denominator with any conversation you had with Bill Valentine is the parent club. No matter who it was, they're putting it to us. They don't send us any players, and they take them away as soon as we get them going. I mean, he trashed whatever organization bosses. He didn't care.
Nope, he did not. But he just wanted you to hear him, and couldn't.
You were going to hear him.
You could not hear him. Zim's the same way. He's got that voice that cuts through. You know, you could hear. I've heard Bill Valentine's voice described as a hurricane cutting through. A train derailment going on during a hurricane. It's kind of like Zimmerman. He's got that voice. It just kind of cuts right through, and it's all you can hear. That's why when he's doing a basketball broadcast with Zim, and it's been a few years that I have, that is a different sort of a broadcast, because you never know where Zim will start talking and when you got to shut up. It's a little bit different with him and Chuck, but I wanted Zim to do the talking at that point. He knew that team a lot better than I did. Hey, Pinto, appreciate you holding We got Pinto on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. How you doing, Pinto?
I'm good. I mean, I didn't have a whole lot. I just wanted to tell you about a tradition of throwing something on the court that's been going on for 42 years.
Where?
Right here in our backyard. John Brown University.
Oh,
Have
what do
you
they
ever-
throw?
Have you ever seen it?
Well, I know the school. I don't know what they throw.
The first home game of the year, the first basket scored.
Real quick, I'm putting you on hold. Take a guess, Matt. What is it they throw? What do you think?
Jambalaya.
Clay, what do you think they throw?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I think they throw
They
bit of
don't-
honey candies. All right, Pinto, what do they throw?
They throw toilet paper.
Toilet paper?
Like
Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It's a tradition. The whole everybody in the gym throws toilet paper all over the floor. Of course, they get a technical, but it's just a given. They've been doing it for 42 years, and that's how they start their season.
I like the. Is there a school that does this every game, or is it just for one game a year where they do a silent night? That everybody is completely silent until the first bucket that the home team makes, and then they go crazy and act like they just won the game. I'm sure toilet paper's involved in that too. Well, that's whatever tradition is, you can just keep it going there. I would just say if a tradition is also always getting a technical, I don't know, maybe check the team's record first.
It's the first game of the year, and it's usually one of the non-con.
Just the first game. Okay.
Oh yeah, just the first game of the year.
They're playing Little Sisters of the Poor.
Yeah, I guess they might be.
I mean, if you're below John Brown, then you're way down there.
877-377-69.
Get us banned in Silent Springs.
Matt, do you ever have to dodge anything on a field or a court outside of tacklers?
Outside of Cleveland Browns?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. There was just a handful of times you might be going somewhere, and they're kind of tossing. No, it really. I'm serious. Like Cleveland, they were throwing batteries and stuff like coins. But for the most part, not really.
We had a guy that wouldn't. It's not that he threw anything, but at Traveler games, this was a long time ago. It's when they still had a smoking section, and it was the third base seats, the bleachers. And there was a man, I was going to call him a gentleman, but he wasn't really a gentleman. He would sit next to the visiting dugout and smoke a cigar on purpose and blow the smoke into the visiting dugout with every puff. And it's like teams would ask Bill, can you just like get that guy a different seat? I was like, the guy pays for his seat. He's going to have his seat there. So the Wichita Wranglers won game, pine tarred his seat. And it's like getting pine tar off of anything is awfully difficult to do.
You just have to throw it away.
Well, that chair may have been thrown away, but it was metal.
1978, my first job was in Tulsa, and my wife got a teaching job in Skiatook, which is about 20 miles north, at Class 2A school, and their big rivalry was Hominy. And Skiatook had a football team, and they'd go to Hominy, and at the start of the game, a fan would run out of the stands with a burlap bag and dump it in the middle of the field with a bag full of rats.
Ugh.
And they ran everywhere. I mean, that was their tradition.
That's wild. That sounds like
It's not. I mean, I heard about it, and I was like, they don't do that. That's not really true. Yeah, they did it.
Well, all this coming from
first game of the year every year. That's football.
Texas Tech football fans throwing tortillas on the field. Now, it's like all these other things we're talking about, there's a danger associated with that. I guess you could get injured by a tortilla hitting you in the eyes, but when that thing lands on your head, it's going to feel a little bit different than, like a battery landing on your head.
Splat.
Yeah. JT asked you, did you have to dodge the streaker at the Ole Miss game, that one game, Matt?
Was that Ole Miss or Auburn? It was
Ole Miss.
Yeah, there was. So that summer, me and a couple buddies were at the lake, and that guy actually came up to me and told me he was going to do it. And we're just kind of like, yeah, whatever.
So be ready.
But he did. I don't know if we were in Oklahoma or like at 10 Killer or if we were down in like Lake Hamilton down there in the Ouachita. But I do remember him coming up and saying there was couple of us, but he's like, hey, I'm gonna streak, and I'm like, okay, what, and then sure heck enough, if he didn't streak out there.
Did he ask for a high five when he was running by you? I don't know if I'm touching a guy that's
It
doing
was
that.
close. I think Bo Lacey said he almost like he's lucky because he was running towards our huddle, and there's a couple guys you just don't know. Like a couple of these guys will go tackle that guy. He's lucky he didn't get tackled.
Hey, you can add together streakers in our theme today for 90s music and just tell you that tomorrow is Flea's birthday.
Oh,
Flea and those Chili Peppers
the
have done a lot of
crossover, Back to the Future. Yeah.
Well, they did a ton
Big
of
Lebowski.
They did a ton of concerts where they wore nothing except socks. And
I
not
saw-
socks on their feet, if you know what I mean.
I saw the Chili Peppers in Nashville. About 06, 07. I think John Frusciante was the drummer. The guitarist, not Dave Navarro. But you talk about a rock band. Like, and not saying anything nobody doesn't know, but man, those are rock and roll stars.
I was supposed to see the Chili Peppers at Lollapalooza 92, but back then, and we had, I wasn't quite old enough to drive. My friends, if you're 16 then in Pennsylvania, you had the Cinderella license. That basically your car turned into a pumpkin at midnight. You had to be home by midnight. And we had to leave early because the Chili Peppers were the last one out. And it was the only time I had a chance to see the Chili Peppers, Matt. I never did. Flea, Charlie Sheen, The Chase. That's right, B.E. And now I think of Charlie Sheen, and I don't think of the 90s with Sheen. I think more of the 80s and the 2000s, up to the 2010. So the 90s was the 90s a little bit of a lost Charlie Sheen decade. I think it was. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. I'm fired up for Matt Zimmerman. I'm excited for Matt. Gets this promotion to the director of A Club and former student-athlete engagement at the Razorback Foundation. Still going to be raising funds, still going to be part of the basketball broadcast and the football broadcast. But Matt is he's great talking with people and just basically being a Razorback. So I think this is as good as it gets, and I'm excited to talk to him about that and about this basketball team.
He's got a little sand lizard in him.
Yes, he does. He most definitely does. Let's talk with Matt Zimmerman in just a moment. Before we do that, I want to remind you about Rhoback.com. If you haven't written it down, RHOBACK.com. Just the most, the perfect summer online clothing store for anybody listening. And if you're a Razorback fan, they've got special Razorback gear as well that you won't be finding anywhere else. Also, check out Rhoback's Delta pants and Delta shorts. Comfortable, premium fabric, going to look great anywhere you are. Go to RHOBACK.com, Rhoback.com, and use the code RUSH25 at checkout. You'll get 20% off your first order. Rhoback, where action meets comfort. 77.
Okay, so you weren't alive when February and March of 74 when the streaking epidemic hit the colleges. I was in college at UCA, and we had literally hundreds of streakers over a 4 or 5 day period.
So what did you do about that? Did you just
I didn't
watch?
do nothing.
Or did you just close your eyes?
I stayed out of the way. Yeah, I stayed out of the way. It was a male thing. It would have been exciting if the females would have participated, but they didn't.
Yeah. 5 years after the Summer of Love, it was the summer of what the heck is that?
What the heck is that? That's
Stay with us.
exactly right.
Matt Zimmerman. He'll be fully clothed when he joins us right after this.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland of
America's favorite, white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Did we invent crispy chicken? Nah. We just put it where it belongs, inside burritos and tacos, obviously. Extra saucy. 2 strips, huh? Look at that. Overachieving? Sure. Did you ask for it? No, but we did it anyway. Crispy chicken from Taco Bell, a brand new classic. You're welcome.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to MyBookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's where bettors win together because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Must opt in during the bet to use the Bet Back bonus.
Dad, the driver looks dirty. Ew, yucky, Daddy.
Hey, don't worry, boys. That's what we do best. At My Dreams Mo Wash, we make homes, businesses, and even big industrial spaces shine like new.
So you can clean houses and big buildings?
That's right. Residential, commercial, or industrial. No job's too big or too small. Call My Dreams Mo Wash today at 479-763-5561 or visit mjmowash.com.
My Junior's Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Neil Young is getting old, searching for a heart of gold. His only number one song is the number one thing most people get wrong. We tend to think we're as good as gold, but in Jeremiah 17:9 it's told, the human heart is desperately wicked right from the start. The Holy Spirit will rip you apart, but then give you a new heart. Mine for the treasure of Jesus written in the scrolls. Otherwise, you're chasing fool's gold. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Read about it.
Don't wanna be a play. I'm not a player, I'm a lot. Show what you're looking for. I want to I'm not a player, I was crushing on you down below. I'm still not a player.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
And Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us today on a Wednesday edition of Halftime. And if we're thinking of somebody who is a player and crushes a lot, we think of Matt Zimmerman on the basketball call, along with Chuck Barrett, and now the new director of A Club and former student athlete engagement at the Razorback Foundation. Zim, that is a rather lengthy title. Can we just go with player or crusher Matt Zimmerman? Put that on your business card.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, still at the foundation, just doing a little different stuff, and I've been fortunate. I've got to do the A Club stuff the last couple years, really. Dean Weber did a tremendous job with it. Clay and Matt, so tight with Dean, and the legend, just the legend himself. And then Kevin kind of handled the former student athlete engagement part from the athletic department, but Dean always handled the club. And so just blessed to get to do that. And I appreciate Hunter believing in me, and Ryan White, who is our executive director at the foundation, good man, and Billy Vitito, our CFO, awesome people, and just really excited about the opportunity. We love all of our former student athletes. Are very important, and we can't please them all. We can't hire exactly who they all want to hire, because they all want to hire somebody different. But it's still a big deal, and I'm very, very appreciative, guys, to get to do this.
Coach Z, congratulations, of course. And before we kind of really get into it, what were the 90s like for you? Give me maybe something in the 90s. What were you doing in the 90s, and what kind of music were you listening to?
Well, I was listening to all kinds of music, but, the 90s, really like 1989 on was this explosion in music of Garth Brooks and Vince Gill and Alan Jackson and Clint Black and all these guys, and that was a big deal. And I graduated from the university in 1990. I was a part of the 1990 Final Four team in Razorback basketball. Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller, Lindsey Howell, a tremendous class that was very close to winning the national title, and arguably, one of the greatest teams we've ever had, obviously. But and then I served I spent 5 years in the 90s active duty in the Army. And a lot of people don't realize that I was in the Army that long. But I was, and had the fortune of jumping out of some airplanes and served in the 1st Infantry Division, Fort Riley, Kansas. I was in Aberdeen, Maryland. I was at Fort Benning, Georgia for a while, the home of the infantry. So the 90s, and then the rest of the 90s, I was coaching high school basketball, Plainview and at Dardanelle. Sand
Lizards. I love it.
You knew it. You'd already said it.
Mm-hmm.
Zim, when's the last plane you jumped out of?
Last plane I jumped out of was in about 1992 in Fort Benning, Georgia. And, when you're up in an airplane, guys, when things are going tough for you in life, or you're anxious, or maybe someone's sick in your family, or you're sick, and you're praying so much, your level of prayer goes through the roof. And when I was doing that, when I was jumping out of airplanes, I prayed like nobody's business, and that I was going to land safely. And I tried to follow all those promises that I made to the Lord when I was up in those planes. And I did a pretty good job of holding up my end of the bargain on some of it. But obviously, I'm not a perfect person, so I've made a lot of mistakes. But I made a lot of promises when I was in that airplane to the Lord. I did a lot of praying, and I made a lot of promises. Please, Lord, let me land.
Those are Hail Marys, right?
Yeah, I did some Hail Marys.
I know you did. I know you did.
I did. Yep, I did them all, and I was nervous. And I got nervous. The night jumps made me even more so nervous. And but I never got hurt. And I was not. When I was in the Army, I weighed about 135 pounds. I was 5'8", and I could land hard, and I could survive, and I didn't get hurt. And but I did have I had a great 5 years in the Army. And matter of fact, I liked it. So I'd always wanted to coach. And my first 3 or 4 years in the Army, I was just going to stay in. I loved it. I was so shocked at how much I loved it. And but at the end of the day, I decided to come back home. I was missing family a lot, and had a chance to come back and coach high school basketball. And I came back to Arkansas.
Matt, did you hug those guys that packed your parachute?
Well, I would have if we got to meet a lot of the parachute riggers that do that, and the riggers are a very important part.
Oh no, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they were very important. So, like when you would meet them, anytime you were around one of them, you shook their hand, you patted them on the back. Now, you had a reserve parachute in front of you, but your main parachute was on your back. And as long as he did his job, I say he, because back then it was males all in that doing that back in those days. Now I'm sure it's probably many women that do it, but it was an important job, and we relied on them to pack that parachute. When you're a paratrooper, you don't pack your own chute; they do it for you. And so it's a skilled position that they have to know exactly what to do, how to fold that thing properly. You're not jumping out and opening your own chute. It's on a static line. So you're hooked up to a cable that's in that plane. And when you jump out within 4 seconds, that cable's going to jerk your parachute out. And if he didn't do his job correctly and your parachute didn't open, you were in a bad place.
It's kind of like getting your ankles taped by Dean Weber, and you trusted that guy.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You learn how to coach. Zim, I got to ask about, what do you think this basketball team be able to hang their hat? Give me 2 things that you think Arkansas basketball in year 2 of John Calipari is going to be really good at.
2 things that they're much improved from last year's team is they're going to be a much better defensive team. They're just longer. They're more athletic. They move side to side better. And they try to block each other's shot all day, all the time in practice. They got pride in defense. Not that last year's team wasn't, but last year you gave up 74, 75 points a game. And down the stretch, we had too many defensive problems, and that's what got us against Texas Tech at the end. And the second thing that got us in the NCAA tournament was rebounding. Texas Tech got all those offensive rebounds. That happened in the 14 losses. We got beat on the boards a lot, and this team will rebound better just because of the size and the athletic ability. So those are 2 really nice areas to make a big jump in, and that's defense and rebounding. I think the shooting will be about the same. I think the scoring may be a little bit better, but very close to the same. There are some similarities, but I think the defense and the rebounding will be a lot better. And we can play in the depth is so much better than it was last year.
Matt, you think they'll be able to score on the low block better? I mean, that helps your shooting percentage a lot.
Yeah. Well, we have a good one, guys, and I voted him all conference. I get voted in the SEC media poll. He didn't make all conference. And I'm not talking about Trevin, and I'm not talking about Nick Pringle. I'm talking about Malik Ewan.
Yep.
And I love this kid. And Matt, he can get you, to me, he can get you 14 and 7 or 8 rebounds and maybe 3 assists, at least 2. That sounds easy, 14 and 8 and 3. Those are huge numbers. But this kid could do it. He's going to get to play. I think Coach Cal realizes how good Malik Ewan is, and he can pass it. He can handle the basketball. He can score it. The other day, they just kept posting him up. Well, first off, in Hot Springs, but in the scrimmage, I was watching them play here in practice, and he just kept diving into the low block, catch it, jump hook, score. But they can also throw it to him at the free throw line or the elbow, and he can face up. And if you don't guard him, he can shoot it. And if you guard him, he can dribble it. And he can also pass. Malik Ewan is the guy that everyone's going to be talking about a month from now. But right now he's kind of flying under the radar because of the popularity of DJ and Trevin and Carter and Billy, those guys coming back. And then these 2 great freshman guards, Darius Acup and Malik Thomas, they're such big names and such talented players. People are kind of sleeping on Malik Ewan, and I'm not sure he's not the Razorbacks' best player.
Coach Z, you bring up a guy, Trevion Brazile, and I've kind of seen his growth and what he was when he got here, going through the injury, and then where he is now. I never would have thought when he got here that he would end up being a team captain. But talk about his growth, and I mean, I've always liked him as a basketball player. I think he has a chance to be a first-round pick, but never thought he was that leader or being able to be a captain. Talk about his growth a little bit.
Well, that's a great point, Matt, because he's not been that type of leader. He's not been a vocal guy. He's been under the radar. Then he had the injury. He was not someone that was a leader on these basketball teams, the first 3 that he's been on at Arkansas. But it all started changing for him in February. He got more serious. He got much more focused on what he was doing. He started spending real time in the gym, not just at basketball practice. And that carried over for him all summer. And in the summer, they were running these 20 suicides in 20 minutes. There was a lot of those times he's winning the suicide. This is a guy that was always in the back. He was always in the back of the running. And now he's in the front. And his work ethic, his attitude through the summer has continued on. I'm just so proud of him. And I told him in the summer, I said, this is the best summer you've ever had by far. That's the good news. The bad news is you ain't been very damn good in the summers in the past. And so
this year you went to work, man. And he said, yeah, I know, Coach. And he said, I'm a different guy. And he is a different guy now. And I think our fans will see that. He looked great the other day in Hot Springs. He was flying around. He tries to dunk everything, is shooting the ball pretty well. And the sky's the limit for him. If Arkansas is a legit chance to win a national championship or get to the Final Four, he's going to have a huge season, and he's very capable of that.
Zim, we're talking about a lot of expectations, when it comes to the football program. And what do you expect? What do the fans expect from a coach that's coming in after kind of wandering in the wilderness for these last 14 years? With basketball and the expectations that are there for this year, Cal's talking about it. You're talking about it. I'm sure the players are comfortable talking about the collection of talent they have and the goal that they have set. What constitutes a successful season this year?
Well, for the Razorbacks, I think that competing for the conference championship, they have that ability. With this talent that he had, you got a coach that's won 6 regular season titles. He's won 6 conference tournaments. He's a guy that can compete for championships in the SEC, and I think you'll see that. Last year, we were out of it. We were 0-5. We were already out of the race. Auburn won the league. They didn't even lose 5 games. We were out of it right off the bat. And I think, a deep run in the NCAA tournament. Those two things, compete for a conference championship and make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. That's what it's all about.
Zim, we'll leave it there. I know you got something going on in just a minute or so thanks for hopping on with us today.
All right, guys. Appreciate it, Clay. Always good to talk to you, Matt. And I'm glad I'm not coaching against you anymore. And, Phil, I'll see you in the pregame show on Saturday.
Coach Z, you're the best.
Always appreciate some time from Matt Zimmerman, who joins us today on Halftime. Missed any of that? It'll be on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast.
How many of you guys, Phil Elson, even C Movie over here, Fisherman Clay Henry, because I know the answer to what my answer is, but how many of you guys would jump out of an airplane?
Not me. No.
Not me. No way.
I have a hard time getting into an airplane, much less jumping out.
I've thought about it.
I would have my parachute would already have to be deployed for me to jump out, like before I even jump out.
Can I do this like Bart did with the golf thing?
Absolutely, yeah.
If somebody out there wants to take me to jump out of an airplane, I'll think about it, but I'm not paying for it myself. Heck no.
We'll try to get to that song. We'll try to get to that one.
That's right. 877-377-6963. That's for people who have airplanes with a parachute, and we'll come right back after this.
We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog.
This is Halftime.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
The remodeling sale continues at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw. Great deals on new Ford F-150s, up to $10,000 off in special financing. We've also got a lot full of pre-owns, including the manager specials on the front row.
Yes, that's my favorite row, Tommy. Telling customers when they pull in the lot, this is the manager special row. It's got thousands and thousands of dollars in savings. It's stuff that's been here just a little bit too long, and we got to get rid of it. When you go down there and you go to the store and you love looking at that clearance rack, and you can find them jeans that used to be $70 and now they're $25. That's what this row is. This is our clearance row. Manager specials save you thousands of dollars. It's vehicles that's been here a couple days too long. Our loss is your gain. Let us save you some money. Right when you pull in, take a look to your right. Manager special row.
All right, it's the remodeling sale, and the deals are on. The manager specials at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong? Call the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Serving the Fort Smith area for over 40 years, the Fence Man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security. Need automatic gates? The Fence Man does it. Need financing? You got it. 18-month financing is available. Get your free quote today at thefencemanar.com. Or call 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Stories getting on now. Oh, yeah. I just looked in the mirror. Things are looking so good. I'm looking California. Feeling Minnesota.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
And we also got Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us on this fine now Wednesday afternoon. Of course, you can read Clay's columns at wholehogsports.com. We did a question earlier here, Clay, about somebody's interested in getting out to the White River, thinking January. Is January a good time to be on the White River?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, it's the brown trout have about done with the spawn. So the brown trout are in the upper end of the White. You can't fish the first mile. That's the spawning ground, and it's closed till February 1st. But that Gaston area, all of that area is really, really good to fish. There'll be some cold days, but there'll also be some really nice days. And January, I don't get to fish as much. That's my time off there is kind of reserved for a couple of duck hunts, a couple of weekends. So, and I've always be kicking myself. I'll be on a duck hunt, somewhere in Arkansas County or Phillips County. It'll be a really nice day, which is fine for duck hunting. It's okay. But I'm kind of kicking myself is like, oh, there's low water on the White River or the North Fork, and the fishing is really good, and I'm along, so yes, January is a good time to go to the river.
All right, I'll get back into some football, not just football coaching, but coaching overall here. So Curt Cignetti's name obviously is getting tossed around a lot about the Penn State job. He is a Pittsburgh guy, and you hear it in his voice at his halftime interview from this past weekend with Jenny Dell.
Composure, but we've seen your emotions come out on the sideline. Is that intentional?
What do you think?
You tell me.
Yeah, you can't let that go.
Can't let that go. Okay. What is your message to your team now? They are up by 3.
Jumping off sides. We got to do a better job at stopping the run. We got to quit laying on the ground on defense and coming back the next play. All right? And we got to play better.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
I like listening to Curt Cignetti talk, not just because he's a no-nonsense guy, but he sounds like a million people that I grew up around in Pittsburgh, and obviously a great coach. Here's a fact, though, too. You want a great coach? Go find an Italian from Western Pennsylvania, and I got instances of every sport we cover here. Tito Francona, baseball. John Calipari, basketball. Curt Cignetti, football. This is what you need to do. Just go find yourself somebody from around Pittsburgh who is Italian or an Italian background, and you're going to get yourself a good coach. Cignetti, though, honestly, the more I think about this, I don't see him leaving Indiana to go to Penn State, because I think in his mind, he's building something akin to Penn State at Indiana.
They're going to put a statue of him outside Indiana.
So I would compare. He's got to keep winning. They can go sour pretty quick.
Well, and I agree with you, but I'm saying the money that they have at Indiana right now is comparable to Penn State.
Yeah, they're gonna fund it. I mean, it's got a bird nest on the ground. Why would you need to go and buy? And I would compare what he's doing there to what Frank Broyles did at Arkansas, and he realized that it was going to be a lot easier to keep Arkansas fans happy than, say, go back to Georgia Tech where Bobby Dodd, where he's following a legend, and he had chances to leave Arkansas, but there was no reason to. And I think that what that guy's doing at Indiana is comparable, and he's also doing it the same way Frank Broyles did, with perfect technique. When you watch them play, they're all in the right places. They play a cohesive unit. They may not be a bunch of 5 stars, but they sure play like 5 stars, and that's obviously the goal. He coaches his guys up. I think he's very tough, and he is what you just said, a tough guy from Pittsburgh, from that area. Phil, you're from the area, but a lot of people that are listening to our show don't understand how great high school football is in Pennsylvania. I mean, it is a fertile area, and that's one of the reasons. I mean, Joe Paterno, he recruited New Jersey too, and probably New York, but it was Pennsylvania kids that won at Penn State. And you can win with Pennsylvania kids. They got more people, and they got more talent than the state of Arkansas, and they've got more talent there than Indiana has. But I think that he knows that he can win there, and the expectations at Penn State will be through the roof different than what he's got there.
I'm going back and looking. When did Oregon turn into a program that annually
Achilles Smith,
it was around that time.
And Joey, back to back.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, it's not like Oregon was some championship level football program until the turn of the century. Essentially, they didn't even have a 10-win season in their entire program's history until 2000. And now annually, Now, look, there's the joke about Oregon can't win the big game to win the national title, but, I mean, for crying out loud, annually, that's one of the best programs in the country.
Well, it's funded by Nike, too. Let's be honest.
Well, that's the thing that I was getting at here. These two things have to end up going together. The right coach with the right amount of money, whether it's coming from a single donor or whether it's coming from massive amounts of donors or whether it's something like Virginia Tech where they're throwing a ton more money from the school itself into athletics. Like, that's the way you end up getting one of those coaches, is to show them the money that's there along with the program.
Yeah, there's always the tough question that cannot be answered, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? And, which do you have to get the money at Arkansas to get the coach, or you got to get the right coach and then the money will follow? And, without question, Arkansas track was not funded until John McDonald started winning. It just wasn't the thing. But if you go back to Arkansas basketball, Frank Broyles decided to fund basketball and hired Eddie Sutton. Said that we're going to refurbish Barnhill, which was a dump. I mean, it was a sawdust, workout facility. So it's, which comes first? Well, Frank decided to spend the money on basketball, but Arkansas baseball, both John McDonald and Norm DeBride in baseball, they raised the money after they had become successful. They were able to do it. After Norm, went to the College World Series in '79, he was able to begin to raise money. Some of it was, the key components to Sam Walton's, building the empire with Walmart. He befriended some of those men. John McDonald, he raised money to build the Tyson track. I'm talking about the indoor facility. But it was after he had won championships. So which comes first, Phil? And I don't know, and Frank Broyles obviously won and money followed into the program because his success. But they didn't have the money at Indiana football until the last few years of the success. So that's going to be the tough question for Arkansas football. Are they going to raise the money in the next 2 months and then be able to have, a nest egg just like John Tyson gave John Calipari, or are they going to have to hire an up-and-comer and then he's successful enough that the money follows? So
they've kind of turned.
I don't know the answer.
I feel like Indiana's turned into the bright shining city on the hill that everybody can point to and say, look, you can do that. You're not going to guarantee you can do, but I was a student at Indiana 30 years ago. Literally 30 years ago, I was skipping a class at Indiana. I'm going to guarantee you I was skipping a class 30 years ago today. And we go to those football games with like a smile on your face.
It's a basketball
snicker, knowing that we're not going to watch Indiana win here, but isn't college football fun? And basketball season will start soon. And it's nuts. I'm not an Indiana fan anymore. I was there 2 years. But it's crazy, just absolutely crazy to think about. That's the equivalent of, for me, the Pirates playing for the World Series, which I do not believe will ever happen in my lifetime, nor did I ever think Indiana football would ever be ranked third in any poll. And it's legit, absolutely legit. All right, we got to break and wrap things up in a moment. Before we do that, I want to tell you about a live edition of Halftime next Tuesday in Little Rock at Blue Ember Smokehouse. This is on Rawling Road, West Little Rock. You want to be there and be along for the show with me and Matt. We're talking Razorback sports, anything else we can get our hands and eyes on. And we're going to be eating slow smoked brisket, juicy turkey, and fall off the bone ribs, fresh out of the pit and served with signature sides. So come out and join us at Blue Ember Smokehouse in Little Rock on Rawling Road. That's next Tuesday, October 21st, for a live edition of Halftime. Blue Ember Smokehouse, get smoked. We'll be back in a moment. Wrap up Halftime. Stay with us.
I'm tired of saying could have, should have, would have. That's why we ain't good enough yet, because we're saying could have and they ain't.
This is Halftime.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
Bow season is underway, and the Arkansas Alternative Firearms season opens October 16th. Jelco Outdoors has all your muzzleloading and straight wall cartridge supplies. Check out the CBA Scout, Bronchi, Ruger, Savage, Tikka, and Winchester straight wall rifles in calibers 350 Legend, 4570 Gov, 360 Buckhammer, and 400 Legend. Jelco has the largest selection of hunting clothing, footwear, and hunting supplies in the River Valley. Get ready to go deer hunting at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
The Polaris Slingshot isn't just a ride, it's an experience. Come see it yourself at Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. Call or text 479-783-5822 or visit WheelerPowersports.com. Ask about potential special financing promos available for a limited time, and ask about the 10th anniversary Slingshot available in limited supplies. Polaris Slingshot, where the ride is the destination. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967 in downtown Fort Smith.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Have you had Cheerwine yet? The cherry flavored soda has had people coming back since 1917. This is RD with Platinum Distributing. We help bring Cheerwine to the River Valley for you to try. Nothing goes with food like Cheerwine. Burgers, barbecue, pizza, you name it. Okay, now we're hungry and thirsty. Cheerwine is a one-of-a-kind soft drink with a unique cherry taste that has been delighting Southerners for more than a century. Pick up Cheerwine at your local Jam Mart, Harps, and other fine establishments. Cheerwine, uniquely Southern since 1917.
Flu vaccines, both regular and high dose for seniors, are now available at Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith. Call 452-6116 to schedule your shot appointment. Usually there is no cost when covered by your insurance. Law's Drug has COVID vaccines, RSV vaccines for ages 60 plus. Pneumonia and tetanus shots are also available. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Family owned and operated since 1950, Crabtree RV Center is proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for 75 amazing years. From a small dealership on Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith to 17 acres located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, Arkansas, Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, and parts. Come celebrate 75 years with us and take advantage of spectacular savings all year long. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Baby, since you left me, there's somebody new. She thinks I'm perfect, I swear. It's my body, my class, and my charm. She says I've got a confident air. She respects my ambition, thinks I'm talented too. But she's in love with an image time is bound to see through. Oh, you know me better.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Wrapping things up here on halftime, Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us as well, as we've been enjoying a 90s Wednesday. That was George Strait. Clay, what about 90s George Strait is different from any other decade, if I could put you on the spot?
I mean, he just was cranking out number ones all through.
One right after the other?
Yeah. I mean, he was the king in the 90s, just like he was after, the turn of the century. He's been the king.
What was his movie? Was that 92?
Heartland. Yeah.
Did he do that? Was it? I couldn't remember if that was late 80s or early 90s, but yeah, he did the movie thing.
Yeah, he's still going strong. He's in his 70s. I got my buddy that lives in at Cordillera Ranch. That his neighbor. They live just around the corner from each other. He had his grandson out on the practice tee, and George came over and said hi and sent me a picture of George and his grandson. I don't know that the grandson really knew who he was, but I sure did.
Hey, guys, I want to play this quick soundbite from yesterday's Players Presser. Julian Nealon talking about Bobby Petrino this time of the year, maybe thinking Michael Myers.
Yeah, I've actually never. I don't think I've ever seen Petrino talk before. So yeah, I always pictured him in my mind as Michael Myers. I would always see him when we would work out and stuff. He would always be at the end of the field just staring at us. I'm like, man, who is that?
I had not heard that answer yet. He never speaks. Thought it was Michael Myers because he had that face that looked like it was skin pulled over his face and painted white. Wow. Now I will say it was you could make a Halloween costume of Petrino on the sideline just with the glasses in the middle, like at night, the sunglasses at night. It's a Corey Hart look.
Absolutely, it is. So, my next "Where Are They Now" feature in Hogs Illustrated is going to be Eugene Nash, Gene the Dunking Machine. From the same teams that Alvin Robertson and Darrell Walker. He was the walk-on, and he told me that it was interesting, playing for Eddie Sutton. He said he considered him to be the godfather. He says, I never spoke to him. He said, if there was something I needed to tell him, I would tell Pat Foster or Jimmy Counts, and they would tell him, and then they would get back to me. He said, I never talked to him. Same type deal. It's like, I don't think I can talk to him.
Hey, guys, a few have texted in the George Strait movie was Pure Country.
Pure Country, yeah.
That I'd heard of. I wouldn't have been able to answer the question for you.
Yeah, I'd looked that up a while ago, and I was just looking at all the songs. Yeah.
Well, Matt, it was good music today. That was a lot of fun.
Fun last couple of days, man. Clay, always fun when you're on.
I'm sick. Y'all are going to have a remote.
With food and you're not there?
It's going to be the same thing over and over, just like deja vu.
You know I'd make the trip into Little Rock.
I know I can. Next week is going to be a little problematic for me in a good way. My wife and daughter are going to Santa Fe for the week, so I've got dog duty. I guess I could bring Millie. I could bring Millie along.
I don't know. When the girls are away, Clay can play.
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
I have very structured. I mean, how this dog is cared for is a lot more important than how I'm cared for.
I get it. It's more important, more than I care for myself. That's for sure. Well, we'll do it again Tuesday, Clay. Matt and I will be at Blue Ember Smokehouse.
Y'all are going to have fun.
We'll eat a rib for you.
Yep.
Matt, looking forward to the show tomorrow. Always appreciate you. If you missed anything on the show today, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast comes out in a moment. Ruskin and Zach are settling in for their show in a moment, too. And we're back with you tomorrow. For Clay, Matt, Christian, I'm Phil. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.